All right, is everyone able to hear me and see me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, great. I don't know what that was about, but thankfully I am here. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the State Expedited Accusations calendar in the State Court of Fulton County. I am Judge Melanie Williams. This calendar is for those individuals who have been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. Today is February the 18th of 2022. To all defendants on the screen, I've advised you, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of the case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney at these proceedings today. I also want to inform everyone that this proceeding is being broadcast over the internet, which means that any member of the public can log on and watch this proceeding. It is also being live streamed. All right, now we can begin. Who do we have first at the jail?
South Annex, Your Honor, good afternoon. Before you is position 13, Ms. Loudon.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Loudon. Are you Peyton Loudon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Loudon, your case is 22 CR 0000846A, in which you're charged with illegal standing, stopping, or parking, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, with offense dates of February the 17th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights. Who represents Ms. Loudon?
J. Kim. I do, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kim. Good to see you. As you can see, Ms. Kim and I are both on video, Ms. Loudon. Do you object to that?
What was it again, Your Honor?
No, I was asking Ms. Loudon if she objected to the video hearing, that since we both are appearing by Zoom. Do you object, Ms. Loudon?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard, can I have that history, please?
Second arrest, 2014 misdemeanor possession of marijuana.
Okay. All right, thank you. Is this your case, Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good to see you. What is the state's recommendation?
Yes, the state is recommending a $500 surety bond for count one for the illegal stop where prohibited, and a $4,000 surety for count two for the DUI less safe, for a total of a $4,500 surety bond. We are also asking that there be no driving and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened just yesterday at Old Alabama Road and Breckenridge in Johns Creek. Officers observed the defendant unlawfully stop in the turn lane on Old Alabama Road and initiated a traffic stop. As soon as the defendant began speaking, officers smelled the scent of alcohol. When the defendant was asked to exit and perform a sobriety test, the officer observed several cues of impairment. And once the defendant consented to a breath sample, that breath sample showed the presence of alcohol, and as a result, the defendant was arrested. Your Honor, based on the facts of this case, we are requesting the bond as stated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Loudon is 28 years old and she is gainfully employed at a restaurant. She has been working there at one place for about 5 years, and she has her parents and siblings here in Georgia. She's been here for all her life, 28 years. I don't think she is a flight risk at all. And this is her first offense in terms of driving issue. So we would like to request for signature bond, Your Honor. She is qualified to be released without a secure bond, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. All right, at this time, Ms. Loudon is going to receive a $2,500 bond on the $2,500 surety bond on the DUI and a $500 surety bond on the illegal stop for a total of a $3,000 surety bond. She is to have no alcohol, webs, drugs, or weapons as a condition of the bond, and she is not to drive further as a condition of the bond. She will be reset to the SAP calendar on March the 3rd of 2022, where this can be revisited at that time.
Your
Is there
Honor,
Yes,
can we limit the driving to have an exception that she can allow to go to work? She's using a car as a major transportation.
I appreciate that, Ms. Kim, but my ruling will stand at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Best of luck to you, Ms. Loudon. Who do we have next?
Next, position number 4, Ms. Brown.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Brown. Are you Deja Brown?
Yes,
Okay, your case is 22 CR 0000834G, in which you're charged with one count of battery family violence with an offense date of January the 16th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights. Do you object to a video hearing today?
was that yes?
Yeah, no, please.
No,
And do you, Ms. Kim, do you represent her as well?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your
Oh,
Honor,
it's
I represent her, Ms. Hogue.
Hogue. Yes, hi, good afternoon, Ms. Hogue, good to see you. As you can see, Ms. Brown, Ms. Hogue and I are both on video. Do you object to Ms. Hogue assisting you by video?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Howard?
First,
Oh, she's recommended. First arrest?
correct.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. So we actually filed an amended accusation, Your Honor. So this is not for battery family violence. It is just a battery.
Okay,
And the state is requesting a $3,000 surety for the battery. No further contact with Sophie, spelled Sophie, last name Zemrani, Zemrani, a one-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 16th of this year at 5898 Roswell Road in Atlanta, which is the Navy Federal Bank. Ms. Sophie Zemrani advised that she and the defendant met for a custody exchange. When the defendant arrived, she went up to Ms. Zemrani's vehicle, opened the passenger door, and punched her in the face. Officers were able to observe a contusion to Ms. Zemrani's right eye. Based on the facts of this case, that is why we are requesting the bond. We were able to speak with the victim, and she informed us that she and the defendant used to be friends. However, she is currently dating the defendant's child's father. And that incident happened while the defendant and the child's father were exchanging custody of their child. She stated that the defendant has been sending her threatening text messages as late as Monday, so February 14th. The victim has also stated that she's filed for a TPO and she wants no further contact with the defendant. She did mention that she would be on Zoom. So when Your Honor is ready, you can sound for her. Thank you.
all right, thank you. I'm gonna hear from Ms. Hogue first, then I'll sound for the victim. Ms. Hogue?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Brown is 25 years old, Your Honor. She has been in Georgia for over 12 years. She went to high school and has a high school degree from Centennial. She has an AA in science from Georgia State, and she has been consistently employed as an orthodontist technician for over 5 years now, Your Honor. Now, as far as this incident goes, it didn't happen in February 16th. It happened in January 16th of this year. And whatever happened, obviously my client denies all the claims, but whatever happened, apparently no police were called to the scene. This was a situation that whatever happened, they left, and then the the alleged victim in this case called afterwards. Ms. Brown was not even aware that she had a warrant at all. They are correct that the connection here is between Ms. Brown and Mr. Richards, who they do share a child. However, according to Ms. Brown, he's pretty much not in the picture, so he doesn't really factor in, and a no contact with Mr. Richards or the victim in this case is not a problem for Miss Brown. She has no intentions. Obviously there's allegations of all kinds of things. However, at this point, I would say that a no contact is not a problem, and a child exchange is not a problem either, as apparently Mr. Richards is really not that involved. She has been approved. This is her first arrest. And so she has been approved for a signature bond, which I do believe she is deserving of, Your Honor. She's gainfully employed. She has significant ties here, and she is the primary care for their child. As I said, whatever happened, we don't really know. That will be worked out later on. She vehemently denies all of this. And just like I said, I believe she is deserving of the signature bond at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Hogue. At this time, I'm going to sound for the victim. Last name is Zimrani, I believe, if I'm saying it correctly. If you are present on the Zoom conference and would like to make a statement to the court, this is your opportunity to do so. All right, I do not hear or see anyone attempting to make a statement at this time, so I will go forward.
Your Honor, can I I'm sorry, I forgot to say one thing. When she found out, Mr. Richards called her and let her know she had this warrant, she turned herself in. So she's not trying to flee from this situation.
Thank you, Ms. Hogue. Okay, I think I have a clear picture here. At this time, Ms. Brown is going to receive a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial services. She is to take that one-day anger awareness course. She is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of her bond. She is to have no further contact with the victim, last name Zimrani. If she does need to exchange a child and Ms. Zimrani is to be involved, she must use someone else as part of that exchange. She's not to have any contact with that young lady. All right, is there anything further at this time from either party?
Nothing for the defense, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Ms. Brown. Who do we have next?
Position number 2.
Oh, she has more. Norris, you said 2.
Position number 2.
Okay, position.
Yes, this is my last one, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Are you pronounce your last name for me?
Bharadwaj.
Say it one more time.
Bharadwaj. Bharadwaj.
Bharadwaj. Did I get close? All right, your case is 22 CR 0000833J, in which you're charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence with an offense date of February the 17th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights and as also to your right to an attorney at this particular proceeding. Do you object to a video hearing?
Your Honor, this case, she needs Hindu interpreter. Our team requested for the interpreter. However, only day that interpreter is available is tomorrow, February 19th. See calendar. So we would like to, actually, I put the notice about that at the chat. So
okay, so you haven't been able to speak with your client, Ms. Kim?
Your Honor,
actually.
excuse me.
Sorry.
Miss Baraj is my client, Your Honor. I did speak with her. Originally I was going with the fact that she needed a interpreter. The Union City Jail called me saying that she wanted to speak with me, that she felt she knew enough English to go forward. Now, I'm like anyone, I have my concerns both ways, but she's also been approved for a signature release. So I'm going to leave it to the court, but she did speak with me. I felt she understood parts. I'm not sure she understands everything, but she did say she wanted to go forward. She felt that she understood enough English. So I will leave it to the court to make that decision at this point.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hear the case today at this time. If I do not feel comfortable giving her the signature bond, we will reset her for tomorrow's SCA calendar, such as no due process, such as there is due process here. All right, I've heard that she's recommended. Ms. Guidry, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it's my case. Good evening.
Good to see you. What is the state's recommendation?
We're recommending a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with Siddharth, Siddharth, Shawarma, Sharma, who is upon the line. 1 day anger awareness and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, in this case, yesterday, officers responded to the area of 6449 Glenridge Drive, Sandy Springs, which is just a street area. It's not a specific place. The defendant, her son, and Mr. Shawarma were in their vehicle traveling on Abernathy and Glenridge Drive when they began to argue about taking the child to daycare and other marital issues. The defendant reached from the back seat and hit Mr. Shawarma in the back of the head while he was driving, causing his eyeglasses to come off. Mr. Shawarma was unable to see and quickly stopped the vehicle. However, the vehicle was in the middle of the road. The defendant removed her son from the back seat and attempted to walk home while the vehicle was in the middle of the road. The defendant was witnessed by other motorists who corroborated the story, and they also stated that Mr. Shawarma attempted to take the child back and put him back in the seat of the car. But the two began shoving one another until witnesses and other motorists were able to stop them and separate the two. Your Honor, they have been married for 12 years and they do have a child together. However, we're concerned for the safety of Mr. Shawarma and the child. So we are asking for the stated recommendations. You do understand the cycles of violence, and given the fact that this incident occurred in the middle of the road and that the car was stopped in the middle of the road, this could have been totally different, Your Honor. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Thank you. Ms. Hogue?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Baja is 38 years old. She and Mr. Shawarma have been married for 12 years now, and they do share a child, and they do live together, and she is the primary care. She is over from India, and this is where she lives, and this is the only residence she has, and they've been married, and there's no indication that he does not want contact. Well, I agree, it sounds, Stu, they were driving, she hit him in the back of the head, but he pulled over. He did not call the police. There's no indication that he would have. They were having a disagreement, and yes, marital people have disagreements. She, as far as I know, is the primary care and takes care of their child. This is where she lives, and she is new to this country, Your Honor, given that she has no history and that while this was a slap in the back of the head where he stopped and pulled over, that is exactly what it was. And without history, Your Honor, I do believe that she is deserving of the signature bond, also to return home to where her husband of 12 years and their child, as that is her only residence here. And she does have language limitations as well. She does not work.
Thank you. Mrs. Shawarma, I'd like to hear from you at this time. I see that you've entered something into the chat. If you would not mind turning on your camera, if you would like to make a statement.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes. Before you begin speaking, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you will give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
What I'm most interested in, Mr. Shawarma, is whether you would like your wife to return home, whether you are in fear of her, and whether you'd like to have contact with her. That's my primary concerns and what I'd like you to address as part of your testimony, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I would like her to return back because I want to give another chance. I know like she has to stop being less, violent. And we don't have any other, accommodation or, relatives also, friends. So I would like her to, understand and improve in future to control her anger and come back.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. At this time, the defendant is going to receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services. She's to have no further violent contact with the victim, last name Shawarma. I am going to require that she do the 1-day anger awareness course, and she is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Is there anything further from either party at this time?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Excuse me. Miss Hogue, can you take the phone number?
That's okay. I will contact him. Don't worry, and we will take care of this. You will be released today. Okay.
Yeah, I will get the address.
Okay, we're going to move forward. Please, confer with Ms. Hogue, confer with them outside of this court proceeding so we can keep moving. Is South Annex completed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have a great afternoon. Take care. Happy weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Who do we have next? I see Mr. Murphy is on the line. If we could take his position, I'd appreciate it. If not, we'll take whoever's at courtroom 2.
Position 14, Mr. Miller.
Okay. And who represents Mr. Miller?
J. Kim.
Oh, you do, Miss Kim. All right.
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Miller. Your case is 22 CR 0000828G. Excuse me. In which you're charged with one count of simple battery family violence with an offense date of April the 27th of 2021. You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney at this proceeding, and Ms. Kim is here to represent you. Do you object to a video hearing?
No, I don't.
Do you object to Ms. Kim helping you by video?
No.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Miller. He's recommended, so we will move to Ms. Guidry.
Your Honor, we're recommending a $2,500 surety bond. No further contact with Jennifer Singh, S-I-N-G-H. A stay away from 354 Loomis Avenue, Southeast Atlanta. One-day anger awareness and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, here on August 27, 2021, officers responded to the incident location. They learned that the defendant hit Ms. Jennifer Singh in the head and grabbed her by her arm during a verbal altercation. At the time, the parties were married. Your Honor, we do understand that he only has one arrest for a theft out of 1989. However, given the nature of the crime, we're asking for that stated recommendation.
Thank you. You went so quickly, Ms. Guidry. What was that stay away location you were requesting? I could not get it down that quickly.
I'm sorry, 354 Loomis Avenue, Southeast Atlanta.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Before I go to Ms. Kim, I see that the victim is on the line. Ms. Singh, if you would like to make a statement at this time, please turn on your camera. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And I'm going to allow you to speak to the court, but I am most interested in your, if you would like to have contact with the defendant, whether you have any fear of the defendant. And that's primarily the concerns that I have. So if you could limit your testimony to that, we would appreciate that. So Ms. Singh, what would you like to tell the court?
I'd like to tell the court that I absolutely would like contact with my husband of 15 years. And I am not in fear of my husband as well. I don't believe I'm in any danger from my husband. And we've been seeking counseling, and I didn't tell him that I filed this report, which is why it took so long for him to be here.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Singh. I appreciate that. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Miller is 52 years old, and he has been here in Georgia from 1987, and he has a child of 13 years old. He's been providing financially. He is a respectable architect ever since 2010. He's registered and he has a bachelor's degree, which has 5 years of long course for the architecture profession. This is his first offense. We believe that he is qualified for signature bond. So we would like to request for a signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. At this time, Mr. Miller is going to receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services. He is to take the one-day anger awareness course. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Is there anything further from either party at this time?
Your Honor, would you grant no further violent contact?
Oh, I will do that. No further violent contact with the victim, last name Singh. Hearing nothing further from either party, best of luck to you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you.
Who do we have next at courtroom 2?
I'm sorry, what was the bond amount, Judge?
It was $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services.
Thank you. Next, we have position 6, Mr. Dashico.
Okay.
That's my case, Judge. Jason DeShaka.
Good, DeShaka. Good afternoon, Mr. DeShaka. Your case is 22 CR 000838B, in which you're charged with simple battery with an offense date of February the 17th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights and your rights to an attorney as included as part of that. Do you object to a video hearing today or to Mr. Murphy assisting you by video?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Howard, recommended. And the first arrest?
This is fourth. The previous 3 are DUIs, 2 from last year, 1 from 2018.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Guidry.
Your Honor, he currently has a $2,500 surety bond. We're asking that you maintain that bond. No further contact with Marlayna, Marlayna Dunlap, DUNLAP, 1 day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, in this case, on the 17th yesterday, officers responded to 3372 Peachtree Road, Northeast Atlanta, which is the defendant's friend address. Ms. Dunlap stated that she met with the defendant and his brother and decided to go to their place to play games with them. She stated that she received $500 and that she did not want to engage in any intercourse with any of the two. The defendant got very upset with her and demanded his money back. However, Ms. Dunlap stated that the defendant's brother had given her the money. When Ms. Dunlap got out of the elevator, the defendant put his hands around her neck in a choking manner and pushed her. A witness was able to stop the altercation before it got worse. Your Honor, we're asking that you maintain that bond given the nature of this offense, given the fact that he choked her in the elevator, Your Honor, as she got out of it, due to seemingly asking for something more than what she did not want to do. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Guidry. Okay, Mr. Murphy.
Judge, my client is not related to this alleged victim. He does not work with her. This is not a former girlfriend. This is, he was a guest along with Ms. Dunlop at a friend of his apartment. And the games that they were playing were a non-gambling game. It was my understanding they were playing a game of Uno. And Ms. Dunlop needed funds to get an Uber. The funds were provided, but apparently someone was trying to get $500 instead of $50. And Mr. DeShaco merely wanted her to send back this money that she received on the phone. And that's the extent of it. My client was happy to speak to the police because he was being a victim of a fraud. Judge, I'd like the court to consider a signature bond. He's a resident alien. He's been in the country 5 years. He has a valid green card. He works out of Lawrenceville, Georgia at a company called MABS. He's been there for quite some time, for over 3 years. He has no general resources. He does not a brother, sister, or relative that can go out on a bond with him, and he has no resources to reach out or pledge any surety at this time. Judge, I'd ask the court to consider a signature bond. He does live in Brookhaven. His address is 4420 Peachtree Road in Brookhaven, 30319. Again, there's no relationship with him and this alleged victim. They're not employed together. They're not related. They do not reside in any locale, Judge. I think he's a good risk under these circumstances. I'd ask the court to consider a signature bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
He has no priors for any type of this behavior. Apparently his incidents are traffic courts. Excuse me, Your Honor.
And DUI. Ms. Guidry, going back to you very briefly. I understand your account, Mr. Murphy, and I appreciate that. What would, again, the nature of the battery was what, Ms. Guidry, again? The alleged nature of the battery.
The alleged nature is that he choked her. He put his hands around her neck. She said he did not apply pressure, but he did place both hands around her neck.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Guidry, for that point of clarification. At this time, Mr. DeShaco is going to receive a $1,500 surety bond. He is to have no further contact with the victim, and he is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. He will be reset to the SAP calendar on March the 3rd, whereby this can be revisited.
Next, we have position 16.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
Okay, have a great afternoon, Mr. Murphy. Take care.
Thank you. Mr. DeShaco, I'll be in touch with your relative.
Is there a reason why I wasn't able to speak?
Oh, I'm sorry. I will sound for you. I did not hear you. I did not know that you were present on the screen. If you'd like to make a statement, you can do so at this time. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I will.
All right, what would you like to tell the court?
I don't know him
I don't know him from anywhere. I met him at a club with his friend when his friend told me and another female to come over. Would we like to come over and play games? And that was fine. I didn't tell him that I needed money for Uber. The friend offered me money to stay. He wanted me to stay longer than what I was initially wanted to stay. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. I was ready to go home. He asked me how much if I wanted to stay. I told him $500. He sent it. The friend didn't have a problem. He took my phone. He went downstairs and he told me to send the money back. And the friend told him, it's not a problem. I'm sending out. I sent it to her. He literally ran downstairs with my phone. His friend had to call him multiple times to bring my phone back upstairs. And then when I was leaving, because I didn't want to engage in any further contact with him or any further activity, when I got in the elevator and I'm getting ready to go home, he choked me in front of the concierge and pushed me out of the elevator. And I don't know him. This is what I'm saying. I don't know him. I don't know, like you said, we're not related. I don't know if I'm going to see him out. I don't know if he's going to be angry. I don't know him.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Dunlap. As part of that no contact provision, the defendant must stay at least 1,000 yards away from the victim, last name Dunlap. That's 2 football fields. So if you see her, you turn around and go in the other direction. All right, the ruling will stand as previously stated.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Best of luck to you
Judge.
both. Take care, Mr. Murphy. Have a good afternoon. All right, who do we have next?
16, Scales.
Okay, good afternoon. Are you Frederick Alonzo Scales?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your case is 22 CR 0000844C, in which you're charged with DUI less safe with an offense dated February the 17th of 2022. You heard me advise you of your rights. Do you object to the video hearing today?
No, Your Honor.
Do you object to your attorney assisting you by video?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is your case, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Howard?
18 total.
1-8?
Yes. Last arrest was 2018. 2 counts of abandonment of dependent child. He has a 2013 DUI conviction. 2016 failure to appear for entering auto out of DeKalb County. Was not prosecuted. 2015 battery family violence conviction. 2015 criminal trespass conviction. He also has history out of Alabama. State, did you see any DUI out of Alabama?
That's what I'm most concerned with are previous DUIs, FTAs, or any type of parole violation. So if you see any of those are primary concerns to the court at this time.
2014 failure to appear out of Alabama. He has 2 of those from 2014.
Okay.
I don't think I saw any other DUIs.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting a $4,000 surety for the DUI less safe, no driving, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This incident happened yesterday at 1685 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard in Atlanta. Officers observed the defendant make an illegal turn and initiated a traffic stop. Upon exiting the vehicle, officers observed the defendant stumble. When speaking with them, the defendant had slurred speech and was unable to answer their questions. A field sobriety test was conducted and it was determined that the defendant was impaired and he was arrested at that time. Your Honor, we do believe the defendant will reoffend based on the fact that he does have a DUI conviction from 2013. And we do believe he is a flight risk based on the fact that he has an FTA from 2016 and then the FTA from 2014, that pretrial measure from Alabama. In addition, he had an arrest from 2014 as a fugitive from justice, Your Honor. So we do believe the defendant is a flight risk. So we are requesting that $4,000 surety bond with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Scales is 38 years old and he moved from Alabama about 15 years ago. So he's been here for about 15 years and he has 4 children here. He's married. He's working at Walmart. He has been working there for it's going about 5 years. Very stable. He stocks cans and other stuff from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day. He graduated from high school. He went to college to get 2 years of studying for criminal justice. And 2018, the charge that, which is kind of recent from now, I don't want that to give any prejudice, because it's found out that DNA test was that child was not actually his child. So the case was dropped. And 2013 is almost 10 years ago. So we would like to request for low surety bond at this point of $1,000, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Kim. At this time, Mr. Scales is going to receive a $4,000 surety bond. He is to have no driving as a condition of this bond, and he is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further from either party at this time?
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Scales. Who do we have next?
If I can't make the bond, he said, I didn't hear, so I got
You-
paid.
Speak to your, the best thing you should do is speak to your attorney about this. It's a surety bond, so you can go through a bonding company. You will be reset to the SAP calendar on March the 3rd, where your bond will be revisited.
Your Sheets, right?
Yeah.
Position 18, Mr. Sheets is next.
Okay. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Sheets. Your case is 22 CR 000-837Y, in which you're charged with 1 count of battery with an offense date of October the 14th of 2021. You've heard me advise you of your rights. Do you object to a video hearing today? Do you object to a video? I'm on video, your attorney's on video. Do you object to that?
No.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Howard?
I have this history. My coworker has it because he went to felony earlier.
Okay, Ms. Arnold, do you have the history?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can you give us the history first and then give us the state's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. He has a total of 5 arrests, a 2017 obstruction, a 2018 theft by shoplifting, and a 2021 arrest for driving without a valid license. He also has 2 open cases. One has a judicial hold, case number 19SC170150, and those are for charges of a certain nature. He also has an open case, 22 CP 206-746, again for charges of a certain nature, as well as a battery and an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Okay, thank you. All right, what is the state's recommendation for Mr. Sheets' bond?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is recommending a $7,500 surety bond. No further contact with Jada Cummings. Jada spelled traditionally, Cummings spelled traditionally. 1-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on October 14th of last year at 540 Humphrey Street, Northwest in Atlanta. Ms. Cummings advised that the defendant and her were driving. The defendant was seated in the rear passenger seat. And at some point during that car ride, the defendant reached around the seat and began hitting Ms. Cummings in the face. When Ms. Cummings stopped the car, the defendant pulled her from the vehicle and continued to hit her in the face before walking off. The responding officer made a note that Ms. Cummings' right eye was so swollen, it was almost completely shut. Your Honor, we are requesting such a high bond because we do believe the defendant will reoffend. The open case, the 22 CP 206-746, the names are spelled slightly different, but it is our understanding that that is the same victim in that open case, Your Honor. And those charges are of a very serious nature. So we are very concerned for her safety. We were able to speak with Ms. Cummings, and she did advise that they are in a relationship and have a child on the way, and that she hadn't had any contact with the defendant, however, since that incident. Your Honor, she did say that she would be on Zoom, so you can call for her when you are ready. And I also just want to make note that he received no bond on that felony charge as well. So for these reasons, Your Honor, we are requesting the $7,500 surety with the conditions as stated.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, there was no further contact. Was there a stay away address?
No, because from my understanding, that just happened on the street. So.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sheets is 23 years old. And actually, Miss Jada Cummings they have a baby together, 2 years old daughter. She's gonna have a birthday this coming Sunday. And they also have a 3 years old son together. He lost his job on the way to his new job that he was about to take on. The first day he got arrested. So I think he believes that he lost his job. He has education up to 11th grade. As a singer, he's very good at rapping and vocal, and he does not have a lot of financial resources at this point. So we would like to request to keep 3,000 surety bond that was already set before. So instead of, and also he has other big fishes that he has to worry about. So we would like to remain the same. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Ms. Arnold, what was the state's amount requested by the state again?
It was $7,500 surety bond, and I do apologize, Your Honor. It is set right now at a $3,000 surety.
All
But
right,
we are
thank
asking
you.
that it be increased. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'm going to sound for the victim, last name Cummings. If you'd like to make a statement, this is your opportunity to do so. I need you to turn on your camera. I see you. I see your screen. There you are, Ms. Cummings. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
What would you like to tell the court today?
I would like to tell the court that I think that Marquise deserves another chance, only because we've been in a relationship for about 4 or 5 years. We share a child together, and I also have one. I want to also state that when the incident happened,
you can put your hand down.
Already
You can put your hand down.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I just don't want you to be
Prior to
uncomfortable. Put your hand down. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Prior to that, I had gotten into an altercation with a female, and when we was actually me and Marquise was coming from court, we was in the car and we had gotten into a big argument, and that's when we got into a big argument, and it kind of just got heated. And the security that's a part of my apartment, she had seen it, so she had reported it to the police. And at the time, they thought that he had did that to my face, so they had body camera it, but it just went in the air. I don't know what happened with it.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Cummings. Is there anything further from either the state of defense at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, Your Honor.
All right, for this particular case, Mr. Sheets is going to receive a $6,000 surety bond. He is to have no further contact with the victim, last name Cummings. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. And he will also be reset to the SAP calendar on March the 3rd, whereby this can be revisited. Is there anything further from either party?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Sheets. Who do we have next?
Now, look,
He has a question.
A very limited question, Mr. Sheets. The best thing for you to do is to speak to your attorney. And I don't want you to inadvertently say something that may infringe upon your right to remain silent, but you can ask a very limited question.
no, I'm gonna just do what you just said.
Okay, speak with your attorney following this proceeding, okay? Ms. Kim, please reach out to your client.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, who do you have next?
Position 19, Mr. Ward.
Hello.
Okay, are you Chance Ward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Ward. Your case is 22 CR 000839J, in which you're charged with 1 count of simple battery with an offense date of February the 17th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights. Do you have any objection to a video hearing today?
No,
Thank you. Do you object to your attorney assisting you by video?
I don't really know what any of that means.
Your attorney and I are both on camera. We're not there physically with you. Can your attorney participate in Zoom to help you with this today?
If it's needed, I guess, yeah.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
Who is this, Ward?
Yes, position 19.
The second arrest, 2017 simple battery, family violence, dismissed.
Was he recommended?
Hold on. He
He
did
was not on the-
pre-trial diversion. I was gonna leave this up to you.
Okay, thank you. I just didn't see him on recommendation list. All right, Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor, he currently has $1,000 surety bond. We're asking that you recommend a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with Reginald Lanier, a stay away from 1425 Market Boulevard, Suite 400 in Roswell. That's the Comfort Inn. 1-day anger awareness and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, yesterday, officers responded to the Comfort Inn. There was a dispute between the defendant and Mr. Lanier. The defendant stated that Mr. Lanier approached him disrespectfully, so he threw coffee on him and said, "F you, N-word." Mr. Lanier stated that the defendant threw hot coffee on him and he has been diagnosed with skin cancer. He stated that he felt as if his skin was burning. The defendant was arrested and he was also given a criminal trespass warning at the time. Your Honor, given the nature of the offense, that Mr. Lanier has skin cancer and that the defendant threw hot coffee on him, we're very concerned for his safety and the safety of the community. And he also has a simple battery, family violence, although dismissed, that is a part of his criminal history. So that's why we're asking for that stated recommendation.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Ward is 23 years old and he does not know the complaining witness at all. And his story is totally different from what is alleged right now. It was self-defense for him. Actually, the complaining witness attacked him first. That's why he was trying to defend himself and then accidentally spilled coffee. It was not intentional. And he has been here in Georgia almost all his life, adult life. He works as a construction worker and he graduated from high school, and he would like to say that he did not say any words to the complaining witness at all. So we would like to keep the surety bond as $1,000 as is. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm going to sound for the victim at this time. Is the victim last name Lanier present on the Zoom conference? All right, hearing none. Mr. Ward, yes, Ms.
Just to say, the defendant did admit to throwing the coffee and saying what he said.
All right, thank you, Ms. Guidry. At this time, Mr. Ward is going to receive a $3,500 surety bond. He is to have no contact with the victim, last name Lanier. He is to stay away from that Comfort Inn on Roswell. I don't remember the stay away address. If Ms. Guidry could provide us with that again. And he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond.
Yes.
Ms. Guidry, if you would put that stay away address on the record one more time.
It's 1425 Market Boulevard, Suite 400 in Roswell, the Comfort Inn.
All right, that will conclude Mr. Ward's case. Who do we have next?
Position 7, Frazier. Come on, Frazier.
All right, Mr. Frazier.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your case is 22 CR 0000831E, in which you're charged with 1 count of fare evasion, 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and 1 count of carrying a concealed weapon, each with offense dates of February the 17th. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights. Do you object to the video hearing or to your attorney, Ms. Hogue, assisting you by video?
Yes, ma'am, she assisted me.
Now, do you object to her helping you by video today?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Thank you. Mr. Howard?
31 total between Alabama, Florida, and Indiana. Last arrest was back in March. 3 counts of terrorist threats. It's open out of Henry County. June 2020, simple battery. March 2020, simple assault, family violence. Pled NOLO in 2019 in possession of marijuana. Last arrest in Indiana was 2019, possession of a synthetic drug, felony obstruction. 2019, failure to appear, 2 counts, disorderly conduct and possession of marijuana. Hold on. (2014) battery domestic conviction.
Any other
2014.
weapon charges, Mr. Howard?
Oh, I'm not sure. I
Okay,
didn't even look for the weapons, but he does have a 2013 FTA out of Florida as well, and a 2012.
okay,
That's it.
that's good. Thank you. All right, Ms. Arnold.
Yes, Your Honor. So the current bond is set at $500 for count one for the fare evasion, $1,000 for count two for possession of marijuana, and $2,000 for count three for carrying a concealed weapon, for a total of a $3,500 surety bond. The state is requesting that count one, that the bond remain at the $500 surety. We're asking for a $500 surety for count two for the possession of marijuana, and a $4,000 surety for count three for carrying a concealed weapon, for a total of a $5,000 surety bond. We're asking for a stay away from MARTA, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or firearms. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at the West End Station, located at 680 Lee Street Northwest in Atlanta. The defendant was observed by Officer Jackson forcing his way through the fare gate without paying the required $2.50. Upon a search incident to the defendant's arrest, the officer found 2 small bags and 1 unsmoked cigar of a green leafy substance, suspected to be marijuana. The officer also found a 9mm handgun with 8 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber in the front waistband of the defendant. The defendant did not have a valid concealed carry permit on his person, and he was arrested at that time. Your Honor, we do believe the defendant will reoffend, as he is a multi-state offender. He has the 2019 conviction the 2019 marijuana less than an ounce, where he pled nolo as well. And then we do believe he's a flight risk, considering he has FTAs from 2012, 2013, and 2019, Your Honor. So we are asking for the $5,000 surety with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hope.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Frazier is 29, Your Honor, and he does have his GED. He's worked for probably over 10 years now with temp services, mainly doing, manual labor, especially in the recent times. He's worked a great deal with Atlas, the moving company, moving furniture. So he does have a consistent job. He's lived in Georgia, at least for the past year, Your Honor. Given the situation here, Your Honor, first off, this was a fare evasion. Okay, it wasn't a violent act. And when he was stopped, he didn't obstruct. He didn't give the officer any problems. He was searched. A gun was found on him, and so was the marijuana. But at no time did he give any problems or show any kind of violence toward the officer or anyone else. I understand he doesn't have a weapon to carry the weapon, but as I said, there was no situation here we tried to flight. We do believe that the $500 for the fare evasion, the $500 bond for the marijuana is more than appropriate. And we'd like to see that the carrying concealed weapon remain at $2,000 at this time. While they do say that they believe he's a flight risk, Your Honor, right now he has a hold out of Henry County. Okay, so even if he makes this bond, he is not being released, Your Honor. He'll be sent to Henry County. So this time we do believe that a $2,500 or $3,000 surety bond is more than ample to assure his return. And we do not believe he's a flight risk, because as we said, he already has a hold out of Henry County.
All right, thank you. At this time, all bonds will remain as set with the exception of position 2, which will be a $500 surety bond. So the bonds will read as follows. Count 1 will be a $500 surety bond. Count 2, a $500 surety bond. Count 3, the $200 surety bond will remain. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond, and he must stay away from MARTA as a condition of this bond as well. He will be reset to the SAP calendar on March the 3rd. Anything further from either party?
Nothing for the defense, Your Honor.
Just to be clear, Your Honor, for count 3, it's staying at the 2,000?
Yes.
So it's a total of 3,000?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Frazier. Who do we have next?
Position 9, Guyton.
Position 9, Guyton. Okay. Are you Christopher Guyton?
I am.
Okay, your case is 22 CR 0000835H, in which you're charged with 1 count of simple battery with an offense date of February the 9th of 2022. I've advised you of your constitutional rights and your rights to an attorney as included as part of that. Do you object to your attorney appearing by video today or to me conducting a video hearing?
No,
You said you do?
no, I do not object.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Ms. Hogue, just clarifying, this is your case, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Howard?
Fifth arrest. Last was 2019, failure to appear, suspended license. 2018, contempt of court for suspended license. He's on probation for possession of meth out of Fayette County. That came off a 2017 arrest. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor, the current bond is set at a $2,500 surety bond. We are just asking that that bond remain, that there be no further contact with Christina Kane. Stay away from 5431 Valley Lake Road in South Fulton, 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 9th of this year at that Valley Lake Road location. Ms. Christina Kane advised that she asked her boyfriend, the defendant, to leave her residence because he was being disrespectful. After asking him to leave several times, the defendant became angry and slapped her in the face, then pushed her to the ground. When Ms. Kane tried to get up, the defendant pushed her down again and then fled the scene. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on his history. He has the 2017 conviction for, well, he has the 2017 where he pled first offender for possession of methamphetamine, in 2016 driving without a license on his person. And then we also believe he is a flight risk based on the FTA from 2019. So we are requesting that the bond remain based on these facts, Your Honor, with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm going to sound for the victim at this time. Last name Kane. If you are present on the screen, this is your opportunity to make a statement to the court. Hearing none, we'll go to you, Ms. Hogue.
Okay, yes, Your Honor. Mr. Guyton is 33 years old, Your Honor, and he, I believe, is a Georgia native. He does have a GED, and he has been working basically as a, more or less as a mechanic for most of his adult life. He currently works at Woody's on Resolute Highway, where he's been there for 8 months. So he does have steady employment, Your Honor. He also has family in town. Based on this incident, as you noticed, it happened in 2/9/2022, Your Honor. So this happened a while ago. So as I said, my understanding is I don't know whether that Ms. Crane wants him back or whatever, but at this point, whether or not there should be a no contact will be up to the court. However, given the nature of the fact that this happened in 2/9, there's been no incident since then, that he has steady employment, that his history does not show, other than a first offender on 2017, his history is then just suspended licenses. So he has no violence in his history. So while we know that a signature bond is hard for the court because of his history, we do believe just $1,000 surety bond is more than ample to secure his presence in court, as well as I don't believe he is going to reoffend, is that this is his first violent offense to begin with.
All right, Ms. Hogue, thank you. I appreciate that. At this time, Mr. Is
Your Honor,
someone
yes, Your Honor, if I may, I just want to clarify, just so we're all on the same page. Defense kept saying it happened a while ago, but we have it that it happened on the 9th of this month. So I just want to make that clear, that it happened on February 9th of this year.
I'm aware. Thank you, Ms.
Okay,
Arnold. I
thank you, Your
appreciate
Honor.
that. I think we can all calculate. At this time, bond will remain as set. He is to have no further contact with the victim, last name Kane, and he is to stay away from that address on Valley Lake Road. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. He will be reset to the SAP calendar. His current bond was $2,500. It will remain as set.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Guyton. We can move to the next position.
Position 10, Mr. Hannibal.
Okay, are you Darren Hannibal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Your case, Mr. Hannibal, is 22 CR 0000842F, in which you're charged with 6 charges. Count 1, driving failure to signal or signal lane change. Count 2, failure to obey or signs or control devices. Count 3, fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer. Count 4, reckless driving. Count 5, attempting to misrepresent a tag. And count 6, driving on an expired or no license plate, each with offense dates of February the 17th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights. Do you object to a video hearing or to your attorney appearing by video today?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Howard. Most interested in other driving convictions, if you see those.
I defer to the state. My coworker got that history. He went to felony earlier as well.
That's fine. Ms. Arnold, can you please give us the history and then give us the state's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. So I only saw that he had this arrest, but he also was arrested on other charges with that open case being 22 CP 206750 for theft by taking, identity theft, and false identification. Your Honor, the current bond right now is set at, it's set for count 1 for failure to signal lane change or turn. It's set at $265 surety bond. For count 2 for failure to obey signs or control devices, it's set at a $265 surety bond. For count 3, fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, it's set at a $1,000 surety bond. For count 4, for the reckless driving, it's set at a $1,000 surety bond. For count, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I think that I've missed one. I'm sorry, I said count 4 was the $1,000. And then for count 5, for attempting to misrepresent a tag, it was the $300. And then for the last count, let me just find it. For some reason, it's missing here. It's a $200 surety bond for a total of a $3,030 surety bond.
Okay.
And
are you recommending that it remain as set?
Yes, Your Honor. The last count was for driving with no license plate, with an expired license plate or decal. And we are recommending that that bond remain the same. We are also asking that there be no driving and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on yesterday at 2525 Piedmont Road in Atlanta. Officers observed a suspicious vehicle per a citywide BOLO. The officers saw the vehicle exit a parking lot and make an improper change of lanes. So as a result, the officers activated their lights. At that point, the defendant increased his speed to enter back into the parking lot at an unreasonable speed where there were pedestrians, and then proceeded to speed through the parking lot, exit, and fail to stop at a stop sign before entering the roadway once more. During that incident, officers lost sight of the vehicle and the defendant and radioed for assistance. Another unit came and found the defendant and turned on their sirens and their lights in an attempt to get the defendant to stop, but were unsuccessful. They were, however, able to get close enough to confirm that it was in fact the defendant. Georgia State Patrol was finally able to apprehend the defendant, and it was then discovered that the defendant had no valid insurance and the tag attached was false and expired. Your Honor, as I mentioned before, he does have an open felony case, and they gave him a bond of $20,000 for the felonies. As of right now, Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on the fact that he was picked up on suspicion of being the suspect on the open felony charges, Your Honor. And he then fled from police after they attempted to make contact with him, Your Honor. So we are asking once again that that bond remain and that there be no driving and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Ms. Hogue.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hannibal is 30 years old, Your Honor. While he has only been here for a year, he has significant family ties here, including 2 brothers and a sister. He's also worked consistently here at Quality Control Music, where he is a songwriter, and he's been there for a year, Your Honor. He also has 2.5 to 3 years of college in business and music technology, so he's been doing the business music quite significantly. He moved here because he has family here, and of course the music business here is much more robust than and then in Maryland, Your Honor. So we said, based on the fact he has family ties, significant family ties here, a solid job, and these are driving offenses, Your Honor, and he's already facing a significant bond for the felony case. We would ask that the reckless and the eluding be reduced to a $500 bond on each one, and otherwise they can remain the same.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hogue. At this time, I am not going to modify Mr. Hannibal's bond. It will remain as set. He is to have no driving, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Are there anything further from either party?
No, Your Honor.
What's the total?
No, Your Honor.
$3,030 is in surety bond.
You said goodbye?
Yes, ma'am. Good bond. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Hannibal. Who do we have next?
Position 1, Mr. Bagley.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Bagley. Your case is 22 CR 000830E, in which you're charged with the first offense of battery family violence misdemeanor with an offense date of December the 20th of 2019. You've heard me advise you, as well as all of the defendants, of your constitutional rights. Do you object to a video hearing or to your attorney assisting you by video today?
No, I do not.
Thank you. I see he's recommended first arrest. Mr.
Correct.
Howard? All right, thank you. Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor, we're recommending a $3,000 surety bond. No further contact with Candice, that's CANDIS, Dorsey Verdell, DORSEY-VERDELL. A stay away from 4169 Herschel, HERSCHEL Road in Atlanta. Third party contact with children, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this event occurred in 2019 of December the 20th. Officers responded to the location. Ms. Verdell stated that the defendant came over. The defendant started an argument with her for no reason about something petty. The defendant got really upset during the argument and struck her with a closed fist to the right side of her face, causing a bruise. Ms. Verdell then fell on the carpet, where she sustained scratches to her breast, her left and right elbow, and rug burns to both knees. Officers observed the injuries and took pictures of the injuries. Your Honor, we do understand that this incident did occur in 2019. However, he was just arrested for it. However, given the nature of the crime and it still was committed, we're asking for that stated recommendation. We did talk to the victim. She did say she would be on Zoom, but I don't know if she's here or not. She stated that she did not want to pursue charges. However, given the nature of the crime, we're asking for the stated recommendation.
You. Is the victim last name Dorsey Verdell present on the Zoom conference? I am sounding for the victim in this case, last name Dorsey Verdell. All right, hearing none, Ms. Hogue.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Bagley is 40 years old, Your Honor. He is a Georgia native. He was born here and all his family lives here. He has a high school education as well as a BS in computer science from Morehouse, and he's currently working on his master's at Georgia Tech in cybersecurity. He has been in the military as the Air Force Reserves for most of his adult life. He will retire next month. And he also works for Porsche as a computer specialist, where he's been doing that for about a year, Your Honor. It's noted this happened 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, in fact, Your Honor. And since then, he and Ms. Verdetta, they have a child. They don't live together. They haven't lived together for quite some time. They have a child, which they did share, and they've had contact throughout both 2 years regarding the child without incident. What should note here, Your Honor, is that number one, he was not pulled over for anything. He was not pulled over for committing any crime. The police were running tags and they ran his tag And then they saw there was this outstanding 2-year-old warrant at that time. So he was even just pulled over simply because he was driving a car, not because he was committing any crime. The child that they share, Your Honor, died this last December. So they no longer actually share a child. And the fact is they have limited contact anyways. So, Your Honor, I do believe he is more than deserving of this signature bond. He is not a flight risk. He's not a threat to her. She's already said she doesn't even want to go forward. This is 2 years old. I don't think she was even aware there were warrants. He was not aware there were warrants. They have very limited contact. And the only reason we're asking for no further violent contact at this time is if they need to contact anything regarding the death of the child, anything further they may need to deal with concerning the death of the child. Otherwise, they don't live together, and they've even had just limited contact through the last 2 years, Your Honor. He has no history of violence. This is his first arrest, and he has significant ties here, including the fact he's working on a master's. So I do believe a signature is more than deserving, and no further violent contact is warranted.
All right, thank you. Based upon the information presented to the court at this time, including the statements made by both attorneys, Mr. Bagley is going to receive a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial services. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. He is to have no further violent contact with the victim, last name Dorsey Verdell. And he is to stay away from the incident location. Is that there was no information that the incident location was his home, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. They don't live together, and that's not his home.
Okay, so he is to stay away from the incident location. And I believe I've addressed all aspects of this case as part of this ruling. Is there anything further from either the state or defense at this time?
No, Your Honor. It looks like Mr. Bagley has a question. Mr. Bagley, you're getting a, oh, go ahead.
Very limited question. I don't want you to inadvertently say something. Go ahead, Mr. Bagley.
So I have evidence and proof.
Mr. Bagley,
Okay,
no,
Mr. Bagley,
no, I told you, this is not the time we're addressing that.
Please speak to your attorney about this. This is just about bond. I've given you a signature bond, so you should be released from the Fulton County Jail if you don't have any other holds at this time, okay?
Is it through pretrial or through the jail?
Through pretrial.
You said no further violence, right?
No further violent contact, yes. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Bagley. Please contact your attorney with the questions you have regarding your evidence.
Okay.
All right, who do we have next?
Position 3, Mr. Brooks.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Brooks. I'm Judge Melanie Williams. Your case is 22 CR 0008368, in which you're charged with one count of theft by taking with an offense date of February 17th. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights. Do you object to the video hearing today?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Do you object to your attorney appearing by video?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Howard.
Arrest number 4. Last arrest was on the 5th of this month out of Woodstock. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Has an open sale of marijuana out of DeKalb County. 2019 sale of marijuana. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. That's open out of DeKalb as well. That's it.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Guidry.
Yes, Your Honor. For count 1, we're recommending a $2,000 surety bond. For count 2, contributing to the delinquency, we're recommending a $1,000 surety bond. And for count 3,
So it's going to appear on my calendar. Can you please give me those charges again?
count 1 is theft by taking,
Okay.
and we're recommending a $2,000 surety. Count 2 is contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and we're recommending a $1,000 surety.
All right. And I see now possession of marijuana. What is the state's recommendation?
A $500 signature bond, making it a $3,500 split bond.
Okay.
A stay away from 3316 Hamilton Boulevard, Southwest Atlanta. And that is hardwood pallet services. And no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Okay.
And Your Honor, in this case, yesterday, officers responded to hardwood pallet service, a theft in progress. When they arrived, they witnessed a Penske box truck back to an entrance-exit gate. The defendant and his stepson, who was 15 years of age, were actively taking pallets from the property and loading them onto the truck. Both were detained, and when they spoke to the defendant, he stated that he met with an individual who worked for the business about 3 or 4 months ago, who told him that he would leave the gate unlocked and that the defendant could retrieve pallets, paying the individual $5 per pallet. They further asked him if the owner was aware of what he was doing, and the defendant stated that the owner was not. The defendant had taken approximately 75 pallets. An inventory was conducted of the truck, and they found 2.3 grams of suspected marijuana. We also want to make the court aware that a gun was found at the scene. It was sitting on top of the pallets. However, the defendant isn't a convicted felon, so there was no charge for that. Given the defendant's criminal history and the fact that he had a stepson helping him take pallets, and this essentially should be a burglary, we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Is there information about how old the stepson is?
He's 15 years of age.
All right, thank you. Ms. Hoke?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Brooks is 24 years old, Your Honor, and he has been living in Georgia all of his life. In fact, in Lithonia, his entire family here, including mother, father, grandmother, sister, 2 daughters that live with him, as well as his girlfriend, Teresa Washington, and the stepson that lives with him as well, Your Honor. My understanding is that he's been working at the Learning Center Daycare Center for doing maintenance for over 3 years, and also owns his own business. He contests these charges. That, in fact, like I said, that will come out further as to whether or not he was allowed to be taking these or how that happened, Your Honor. So at this point, like I said, that would have to come out further. What we do want to say, Your Honor, is that when he was there, when the police came on him, he talked. He did not try and flee. He did not argue with them. When they asked him questions, he answered all the questions. All we're asking for in this case, Your Honor, is just that the bond for theft by taking and the bond for contributing to delinquency of a minor both be $1,000 at this time, making it a split bond of $2,500.
All right, thank you. At this time, Mr. Brooks is going to receive the bonds as follows. For count 1, theft by taking, it'll be $1,000 surety bond. For count 2, it'll be $1,000 surety bond. Count 3, it'll be a $500 signature bond through the jail. He is to stay away from the address on Hamilton Boulevard, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Is there anything further from either party? I see you have a question, Mr. Brooks. Very limited questions.
I understand. I don't understand why everybody's saying that I have a arrest from this month in Woodstock. That was last year in February. That was not this year.
Okay.
I have no arrest this year.
Mr. Brooks, I would recommend that you just stay quiet at this time, please.
Okay, we understand that you contest the criminal history, but we understand that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mr.
he's
Brooks, I don't
right.
want
He's right. My apologies.
He has no open cases, Mr. Howard?
No, they open now. He was just right about the February.
About the date of the arrest. Okay, that will not change the ruling at this time. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Brooks.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, who do we have next?
Position 5, Mr. Chaudhary.
Okay. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Chaudhary. Your case is 22 CR 000832D, in which your charge was 1 count of battery family violence with an offense date of February the 17th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your rights. Do you object to a video hearing?
No, no.
Okay, is that a no that you do or you do not object?
I do not object.
Thank you. Ms. Young, do you represent Mr. Chaudhary? And
Yes, Your Honor.
you see your attorney is present by video. Do you object to a video hearing at this time? You said you don't object to the video, but do you object to your attorney assisting you by video, Mr. Chaudhary? Courtroom 2, he's still muted.
I do not object.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to be clear. Mr. Howard, can I have his history? Oh, he's recommended first arrest.
Right.
Thank you. Ms. Arnold.
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting a $4,000 surety bond for battery family violence. No further contact with Rohan Bukhar. Rohan spelled R-O-H-A-N. Bukhar spelled B-H-U-K-A-R. Stay away from 458 Calhoun Street in Atlanta, which I believe is Georgia Tech. A one-day anger awareness and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday. at the 458 Calhoun Street address. Mr. Bukhar advised that he had been having problems with his roommates for about 3 to 4 months, where the defendant and his other roommate, Mr. Hemant Kumawat, spelled Hemant, last name Kumawat. He advised that Mr. Kumawat and the defendant had been bullying him, doing things like locking him in the bathroom or taking his food from his fridge. And ultimately, this whole incident is really stemming from the fact that they refused to pay their portion of the internet, which is in Mr. Bukhar's name, and they had all agreed to split it. Because the bill had not been paid, Mr. Bukhar disconnected a router that the defendant had gotten for himself and took it into his room because of the non-payment. The defendant then forced himself into Mr. Bukhar's room, grabbed him by the neck and slammed him to the floor. Mr. Bukhar was left with scratches on his neck and his left arm. The defendant admitted to officers that he did push in the door and that the altercation caused Mr. Bukhar to fall to the ground. It was noted that the router was returned and the defendant did go ahead and pay the internet bill. Your Honor, based on the facts of this case, where Mr. Bukhar has said that the defendant has been essentially terrorizing him in the apartment, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend. So we are requesting the stated bond. We did speak with the victim and he stated that him and the defendant are in fact roommates. He wants no further contact with the defendant. He's very fearful and does not feel safe living with the defendant or the other roommate. He's actively right now trying to leave the apartment and trying to find somewhere else to go. So he would like a stay away until he is able to get away from the apartment so that he does not have to see the defendant again. He did mention that he will be on Zoom, and I do believe I see him. So when you're ready, you can sound for him, Your Honor. But again, based on the facts of this case, we are requesting the $4,000 surety. Thank you.
Is the 485 Calvin Street, is that a Georgia Tech apartment or is that a Georgia Tech dorm? Do you know what it is? Let me look.
I'll have to ask, or you may have to ask Mr. Bukhar. When I looked it up on Google, it showed that it was on the Georgia Tech campus, but I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, Ms. Young, I'll go to you, and if you can shed some light on what that address is. My question is, if it's campus housing, I'm wondering if this is a situation where they confirm the lease with Georgia Tech itself. But go ahead, Ms. Young.
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court knows at this time, these are mere allegations, but my client has been living in Fulton County over 6 years. He attends Georgia Tech where he is pursuing his PhD. He's not a risk to reoffend. As you know, the client doesn't have any criminal record, no FTAs. He's not a risk to any witnesses or the community, and we're asking for a signature bond in this matter. I do believe that the 485 Calhoun Street is their apartment where they live together. So we'd be asking for no violent contact as this is his home and he wouldn't have anywhere to go at this time.
Okay, but I still need some clarification. I'm going to hear from the victim at this time, but before I do want some clarification about the type of housing that it is, if either the state or defense could give that to me. All right, I'm sounding for the victim at this time. Last name Bukhar. Mr. Bukhar, if you'd like to make a statement, please turn on your camera. Please turn on your audio. Please raise your right hand. Whenever I put in this 485, I'm actually getting the Georgia Tech library. So I'm just want to confirm. All right. Mr. Bukhar, do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Bukhar, what I'm primarily concerned with is whether or not you like to have contact, whether you have fear of him, and your request for the stay away. I will hear other limited facts, but go ahead and you can put your hand down. You can put your hand down. Please let me know what you'd like to tell the court at this time.
Yes, ma'am. So the incident happened at midnight, 17th February, and as described by ma'am who was speaking previously. And the details that have been provided are the details that I mentioned in the statement that I provided and the officers who came in. I I am work as a researcher in collaboration with Georgia Tech and NIH. And I recently completed my master's in 1.5 years. And before that, I was back in my home country. I just started my research job and I want to live peacefully and safely. I do not want any further contact, or I've been looking for a separate home, and my landlady have been informed about previous history and the incidents and the recent information as well. And I'm looking for somewhere else because I don't feel safe with the second roommate as well. What I'm requesting for is that I no further contact, and he stays away from me, and he does not come close to me because I just started my research job and I don't feel safe.
Okay, Mr. Bukhari, one question. Can you clarify, is this an on-campus apartment or are you all living somewhere close, perhaps in Home Park? What is 485 Calvin Street?
Ma'am, this is close, as you said, this is close to Home Park, just a street away from campus, but not an on-campus property. This is private house, but not an on-campus.
Okay, I understand. Thank you so much. All right, I appreciate you making that statement to the court. If I will let the attorneys make some very limited responses. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor, I just want to clarify the address. It's 458 Calhoun, not 485.
Okay, that might be where I was getting at. Okay, 458. All right, anything further? I'll let you all make very limited responses. Ms. Arnold, did you want to say anything further?
Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Young?
Your Honor, thank you. I understand the alleged victim's contentions, Your Honor. However, according to the Ayala factors and based on the fact that this is his first arrest, we're asking that he is provided has a signature bond. Mr. Chaudhary will abide by all conditions set by the court.
All right, thank you. At this time, he's going to receive a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial services. He needs to complete a one-day anger awareness course. He must have no further contact with the victim, last name Bukhar, and he must stay away from the incident location on Calvin Street. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items that may remain at that location. Otherwise, he is not to be there, and he must stay at least 2 football fields away from the victim, last name Bukhar. Is there anything further from either party that I have not addressed as a part of this ruling? Oh, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, if I did not previously state that.
Nothing further from the defense.
All right, best of luck to you, and we can move to the next position.
Next, we have position 17, Mr. Shannon.
And if Ms. Young, if that's your only case, you can be excused at this time. Have a great afternoon, all right?
Thank you
care.
so much.
Take care. All right, we're on position 17. Are you Ricardo Shannon?
Ricardo.
Oh, I apologize. Are you Ricardo Shannon?
I'm good.
I'm good, Mr. Shannon. How are you this afternoon? Your case is 22 CR 0000845F, in which you're charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct with an offense date of February the 17th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your rights. Do you object to this video hearing or to your attorney? Ms. Kim, do you represent him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you object to Ms. Kim assisting you by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
14 total.
Okay.
Last arrest was back in November. Criminal trespass, possession of drug-related objects, misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Was arrested in Florida for driving while license suspended June 2021. 2016 probation violation. In Georgia, 2015 probation violation. 2015 FTA was dismissed. Simple battery family violence conviction 2014. 2011 probation violation. And 2009 disorderly conduct NOLO.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. All right, Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. So the current bond is set at a $3,000 surety bond for the disorderly conduct. We're asking that that bond remain. We're asking that there be a stay away from 575 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell, which when I looked it up is the La Quinta Inn and Suites. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday at the La Quinta Inn and Suites. When officers made contact with the defendant, he was irate and agitated. He was yelling and clenching his fist and waving his arms around. The defendant was also yelling at the customers who were walking by, threatening to fight them or punch them. The defendant also offered those same threats to the officers. Because he refused to calm down, officers went ahead and took him into custody. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend, as he has probation violations from 2009, 2010, 2011, 2015, and 2016. In addition, he has the NOLO for disorderly conduct from 2009, the 2014 simple battery family violence conviction. And I have the criminal trespass, possession and use of drug-related objects, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce from 2014 as a conviction. So in addition, Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant is a flight risk based on the fact that he has a FTA from 2015. So for these reasons, we are asking that the bond would remain with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Shannon is 40 years old and he was born in Ohio, but he came to Georgia about 15 years ago. He has one 18 years old child. Even though he's divorced, he has a family here. So I don't think he is a flight risk. And he also has his own business as a music group. He has been doing that for about 26 years. He graduated from high school and he has been living in one same place for 12 years. So he is relatively stable here in Georgia. We would like to request for actually lower surety bond of $1,000. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. At this time, I'm inclined to agree with Ms. Kim. He's going to receive $1,000 surety bond. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and he must stay away from that address at I think it's 1575 Holcomb Bridge, or whatever the address for that hotel is.
Yes, it's 575, Your Honor. Holcomb Bridge.
I can't read my own writing sometimes. 575 Holcomb Bridge. All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Shannon.
What you say, ma'am? Sorry.
I said best of luck to you. You're receiving $1,000 surety bond. Please contact your attorney for what that means. All right. She can explain that to you.
I'm an attorney at law and I'm Wu-Tang management, and I don't have no paperwork. And I'm 300.
Okay. I don't want you to say something, Mr. Shannon. Please don't say something that may interfere with your attorney's ability to represent you later. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Best of luck to you.
Best of luck to you guys. And my birthday was February 9th. Michael George was yesterday. Peace and love. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon forming gives me some props from Shark Shark. And I'm born and raised in Canton, Ohio. Nice to meet you. Love you.
Amen, Mr. Shannon. We'll move to our next position. And happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday to you as well. All right, who do we have next?
Position 11, Mr. Jenkins.
Mr. Jenkins, you said, position 11? Okay. Good afternoon. Are you Demetrius Jenkins?
How you doing?
Okay, your case, Mr. Jenkins, 22 CR 0000840C, and what you're charged with simple assault, family violence with an offense date of February the 4th. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights and of your right to, and I want to get confused. Do you object to a video hearing at this time or to your attorney appearing by video?
No.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Howard.
20 total. Last arrest was 2020. Failure to appear, suspended license. 2017 probation violation, reckless conduct, fleeing an officer, suspended license. 2016 probation violation, 2014 probation violation. 2013 failure to appear was NOD. 2010 probation violation, suspended license. They got a lot of probation violations.
Okay,
But most of his history is driving.
No violent, nothing violent. I see the FTA, but nothing violent. All right, that's good. All right, Ms. Arnold.
Yes, Your Honor. So the state is requesting for count 1 for the simple assault, family violence, a $3,500 surety bond. For count 2, for the criminal trespass, a $2,000 surety bond. And for count 3, for discharge of firearms on property of another, a $4,000 surety bond, for a total of a $9,500 surety bond. We're asking that there be no further contact with Ruthia Ubaka. Ruthia spelled Ruthia, Ubaka spelled Ubaka. A stay away from 5,000 Cardinal Court in Fairburn. 1-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 4th, 2021 at the Cardinal Court location. Ms. Ubaka advised that her boyfriend, the defendant in this case, was asleep when she saw a phone that she had never seen before. So she went through the phone and decided to confront him about it after looking through some of the messages. As the defendant woke up and they began to argue, at some point during that argument, the defendant picked up a gun that was next to him. Ms. Ubaka stated that he never pointed the gun at her or threatened her, but he was waving it around as he was talking, which made her very nervous. Because she was nervous, Ms. Ubaka tried to swipe the gun away, which caused the gun to go off. The bullet traveled through the back window and into her backyard. At this point, Ms. Ubaka ran outside and threw the phone down and told the defendant that he needed to be gone by the time she returned. The defendant, however, followed Ms. Ubaka and began wrestling her while she was in the driver's seat, demanding that she give him back his phone. During the argument, the defendant snatched off Ubaka's wig and threw it down to the ground. When Ms. Ubaka tried to leave once more, the defendant again jumped on her and started to wrestle her in an attempt to figure out where his phone was. Eventually, the defendant went back inside the location and Ms. Ubaka was able to leave. We do believe that the defendant will reoffend and have no regard for his bond conditions, Your Honor. As pretrial has stated, he has a lengthy history of probation violations, including arrests from 2012, 2014, 2016, and 2017 for probation violations. And he also has a 2014 conviction for reckless conduct. We also believe that the defendant will be a flight risk, as he has a failure to appear from 2013 and from 2020, Your Honor. So because of these reasons, we are requesting the bond as stated. We were able to speak with Ms. Ubaka, and she did state that her and the defendant are currently in a relationship and live together and that they have a child on the way. She did say that she would be on Zoom. She said that she wants no violent contact. However, we are concerned for her safety and the safety of the child since a gun was involved, Your Honor. So again, we would just be asking for no further contact. But I didn't see her, but again, when you're ready, you can sound for her, Your Honor. Thank you.
I see her on the Zoom conference, but I am going to go to Ms. Hogue first.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jenkins is 37 years old and he has lived in Georgia all his life. He has family here, all of it, mother, father, aunts, children. In addition to the one that he's having with Mbaka, he does have other children that he does help support, Your Honor. So he has significant family ties here. So he is not a flight risk. He has high school from Riverdale High School, as well as he had 2 years at the Culinary Arts at Atlanta Metro. He has pretty much been a chef all of his adult life. He is currently a private chef. He also does DoorDash, as well as he works at a Kiss Club and a Yard House, both doing chef work there as well. So he's very stable. He has a consistent job. He has family here, and he is very stable. As noted, this happened over a year ago, Your Honor. Since then, they have been living together for the entire time, and they do have a baby due in 2 weeks. I've spoken with both he and Miss Mbaka. I believe that neither of them were even aware of these warrants that were out there, because obviously they've been living together, and she's had no issues right now. So, and she does want him to be able to come back to the house as he has been there, and they have a child on the way. Given the fact that this is a year old, that they have been living together, that neither of them were really aware of the warrants, the fact that there's a question as to exactly all the facts and what the facts really are in this case. I did note in the police report that even though there was a comment about a gun and things, but no gun was found and no bullets were found. So I do believe that, you know, given all the circumstances here, that $1,000 surety bond on the simple assault, 1,000 on the trespass, and 1,000 on the discharge is more than ample to assure that he shows up in court, and that there's obviously nothing has happened in the last year. So I don't believe there is what they call a risk to offend. His history is, as noted, mainly driving related, and so the violations are mainly driving related. So there is no violence in his history either. So I do believe that a $3,000 total bond and a no further violent contact is warranted in this case.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'm going to hear from the victim, Ruthia Ubaka. Ms. Ubaka, if you'd like to make a statement, please turn on your camera. I see you on the screen. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm most interested in is whether you want contact with the defendant and whether you'd like him to stay away from the location. All right, but I will hear limited facts. What would you like to tell the court today?
I do want contact with him. We do have a child on the way, and we have a 2-year-old, and we no longer live at that location.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ms. Ubaka. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the court?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Anything further from either party?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Jenkins is going to receive bonds as follows. On the simple assault, family violence is going to be a $1,500 surety bond. On the criminal trespass and damage to property, it's going to be a $1,500 surety bond. On the discharge of a firearm, it's going to be a $2,000 surety bond for a total of a $5,000 surety bond. He is to have no further violent contact with the victim, last name Ubaka. And as condition of this bond, he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Anything further from either party?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. If not, best of luck to you, Mr. Jenkins. We can move to the next position.
Position 12, Johnson.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. Your case is 22 CR 00843A, in which you're charged with 3 counts of obstruction of a law enforcement officer with an offense date of February the 16th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your rights. Do you object to a video hearing?
No.
Do you object to your attorney assisting you by video?
No.
Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
16 total. Last arrest was February 2021. Hold on. Yeah, February 2021. Cruelty in the third. Conviction. Battery conviction. Probation violation as well. He's on probation and caught possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Ag stalking. He has 2 holes, if I'm not mistaken. One out of Marietta. It says family offense, and one out of Decatur. Family offense is what it says.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Arnold.
Yes, Your Honor. So currently the bond is set at $1,500 for 1 count of obstruction. There were 3 officers involved though, so we added 2 additional charges of obstruction, Your Honor. So we would ask that the bond remain for count 1 with the $1,500 surety. For count 2, we're asking for a $1,500 signature bond. For count 3, we're also asking for a $1,500 signature bond for a total of a $4,500 split bond. We're asking that there be no further contact with officers Smith, Gonzalez, or Rivera, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on February 16th of this year at 2841 Greenbrier Parkway Southwest in Atlanta. Officers were patrolling that area for stolen vehicles when they spotted a black Chevrolet Camaro, which had signs that it was stolen. So they ran the plates and it came back as being owned by the defendant who actually had active warrants. So when the defendant came outside and came to his car to unlock it, Officer Gonzalez and Rivera started their lights and sirens and announced themselves. At that moment, the defendant began to run. Officer Smith was able to gain sight of the defendant, and he told him that he would be tasered if he did not stop, but the defendant started running once again. Officers were able to catch up to him. The defendant was stunned and then arrested. We do believe the defendant will reoffend based on his history. He has probation violations from 2014, 2015, and 2018. He also has a 2014 conviction for obstruction and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He has a 2019 conviction for receipt, possession, or transport of a firearm by a convicted felon, a 2020 conviction for aggravated stalking, and then a 2021 conviction for battery and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. So for these reasons, Your Honor, we are asking for that stated bond. In addition, we also believe that the defendant is a flight risk based on the 2014 failure to appear. So once again, we're asking for the $4,500 split bond with the conditions as stated. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hogue.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Johnson is 29, Your Honor, and he's been in Georgia for over 20 years. He has family here, a mother, a sister, children, one already existing and 2 on the way. He has been working at Jimmy John's as a stock manager for 2 to 3 years now. So he's also had consistent employment, and he has a GED from here as well. What I most importantly want to point out, Your Honor, is that at the time of this incident, he himself had not been committing a crime or anything. He was simply walking out to his car when officers flashed lights at him. So given all the things that have gone on through the last couple of years with this, it's not unrealistic that he did flee. But most importantly, they were stopping him for the purpose of arresting him for the warrants that were outstanding in Cobb and DeKalb. And that was the sole purpose of the stop to begin with. What we're asking here, Your Honor, is to have them all made signature bonds because he has a hold for both the DeKalb and the Cobb cases. And that was the sole purpose of the stop to begin was for the officers to pick him out so that he could be taken to those jurisdictions. So we're asking for signature bonds on all 3 counts so that he can simply be released to Cobb and DeKalb as needed so he can take care of those warrants that are there.
All right. Thank you. At this time, Mr. Johnson is going to receive a $4,500 signature bond through the jail. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of this bond. Anything further from either party?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Johnson. Who do we have next?
Position 15, Mr. Ramsay.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Ramsay. Your case is 22 CR 00829Y, in which you're charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence with an offense date of February the 16th of 2022. You've heard me advise you of your right to remain, your constitutional rights. Do you object to the video hearing?
Go ahead, say it again.
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Do you object to your attorney assisting you by video?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Recommended. So first arrest, Mr. Howard?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor, we're recommending a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with Nelson Correll, Correl, a stay away from 1746 Temple Avenue, Atlanta, 1 day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident occurred on the 15th of February of this year. Officers responded to the location and spoke to Mr. Correll, who stated that his boyfriend, the defendant, came into the home drunk after celebrating his job promotion. The defendant began to touch Mr. Correll as he was at the computer, but the defendant got upset when Mr. Correll told him to stop and to go take a shower because he was drunk and smelled of alcohol. The defendant tried to stand up but fell back in the chair, causing it to fall on the floor. When Mr. Correll tried to pick up the chair and get off the floor himself, the defendant struck him in the face with a closed fist, causing him to hit the wall and fall on the floor himself. Again, Mr. Correll ran into his roommate's room, Miss Erica Scott. She also lives in the home with the other 2 parties. Ms. Scott stated that after the 2 parties got into the room, the defendant pushed Mr. Correll into a chair and struck him in the shoulder with a closed fist. Mr. Correll tried to leave the room, but the defendant blocked the door. That's when Mr. Correll used Ms. Scott's phone to call the police. Mr. Correll stated at the time that he wanted to pursue charges and that he did not feel safe around the defendant anymore. He also stated that issues of violence have occurred before between the two, but no police report was filed. Your Honor, given the nature of this crime and the fact that Mr. Correll stated that he wanted to pursue charges and that he did not feel safe, we're concerned for his safety. Also, the fact that he stated that issues of violence have occurred in the past. We want to ensure his safety. Your Honor, he is here if you'd like to speak with him as well.
All right, thank you. At this time, I would like to hear from the victim, last name Correa. If you would like to make a statement, please turn on your camera. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm most interested in whether you'd like to have contact with the defendant and if you'd like him to stay away from the incident location, but you can give me limited additional facts. All right.
I would like him to come home tonight, and I would like to keep contact with him. Your Honor, I truly believe that the situation that happened on Wednesday evening is not going to happen again. I'm not fearful of Darren, and I believe he needs professional counseling to get through his anger issues. I also do want to make it clear, I agree that it's never okay to be physical with anybody. I don't think a protective order will be necessary, as this would only create more problems as he has nowhere to go, to the fact that this is his house. I'm his partner, but I live here with him. We live together. Darren is an exemplar work history. He has worked in many capacities over the 14 years for the same company. We actually work together. As of last week, he was promoted to a new job, and I believe that's when this happened. That's why this happened. I did talk with the victim's advocate, and I tried to talk to the computer. I actually wanted to drop the charges, but I was told that cannot be done. I truly believe with professional help, Darren will overcome the larger issue when it comes to his anger problems. So I do please ask that not only do you let him come home today, but take into consideration that I would like to drop the charges. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate you making that statement to the court. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that he is qualified for signature bond. So we would like to request for release with an unsecured bond. We would like to request for that. And actually, Mr. Complaining witness is no longer complaining. So we would like to shorten up all the things that he already mentioned. I will not repeat that. And he actually was arrested without Miranda right. Any kind of warning was not given to him. However, he was arrested. And please give him a signature bond. He want to go home, and his complaining witness is not complaining anymore. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Kim. At this time, Mr. Ramsay is going to receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services. He is to take a one-day anger awareness course. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and he is to have no further violent contact with the victim, last name Correa. All right, is there anything further from either party?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Ramsay. We can move to the next position.
21, Weathers.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Weathers. Your case is 22 CR 0000841F, in which you're charged with criminal trespass with an offense date of February the 17th. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights and of your which includes the right to an attorney here at this proceeding. As you can see, I'm on video as well as your attorney. Is it Ms. Kim? Ms. Kim, do you represent him?
Yes, I do.
Do you object to the video or to Ms. Kim appearing by video?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Howard?
This is 10th arrest. I got January 2022 trespass, misdemeanor possession of marijuana. That was on March 2015 suspended license NOLO, 2015 probation violation conviction, marijuana conviction 2015. At a 2014 shoplifting that was dismissed. Death by taking, it was armed robbery at first. It was amended death by taking conviction. That was in 2000.
Okay.
And I saw out of state history out of Alabama from '01. Domestic violence dismissed.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. He currently has $1,000 surety bond. We're asking that you maintain that bond, issue a stay away from MARTA and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, the defendant was given a criminal trespass notice on January 7th, which, as pretrial stated, that is an open case, and he was also charged with marijuana. That case number is 22CR000101H. On that case, he was given a $1,000 surety bond for the criminal trespass and a $500 signature through the jail. In that instance, he was walking on the track of MARTA, and they issued him a criminal trespass on that date. The notice for that arrest was effective from February 7th to March 9th, 2022. He was found on February 7th, yesterday, at MARTA again. So that's why he was arrested again on this case, where he entered the station yesterday. So since he went again to MARTA, we're asking that you maintain that bond, given that he keeps going to MARTA, even though he knows he has a suspension.
All right, thank you, Ms. Guidry. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, his mother is here, I believe. And when I was speaking with her, I found a lot about his condition right now. He actually has a mental disability right now. I believe that I may have to request for breakout, really short one, to kind of discuss a little bit about details.
That's fine. If you could put us in a break, Ms. Middlebrooks, if you could put me, Ms. Kim, Ms. Guidry, Supervisor Mr. Walker, all into a breakout, we would appreciate it. And I'm not sure if Ms. Hogue wants to join the breakout as well, but if she does, I don't have any objection to that.
No, I think I'm okay, Your Honor.
Okay, want to sit this one out, that's fine. So we put us all in the
Okay,
breakout.
Judge, you say you, Mr. Walker, Ms. Guidry, Ms. Kim.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
On the thing. I'm sorry, I asked if we can also have my mother involved. She's on the list of people that are watching, if that makes any sense.
Jill Crane is your mother, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That phone, oh yeah.
Please and thank you.
Thank you. It's up to Your Honor whether.
I'm gonna hear from you all first.
Yes.
Okay.
A breakout the judge and your attorney.
Timeout.
Not a timeout, just they're having a discussion about your case.
My attorney and the judge and the DA.
And I don't think the DA.
Or whoever the person trying to.
Hello.
All right. We are back on the record. I received some information while in the breakout room. Mr. Howard, I would like to ask a question of pretrial. Are you present on the screen, Mr. Howard?
Yeah.
I know typically these types of cases are not taken through pretrial services. If I order it with that, are you able to take a criminal trespass case in this instance?
If you order it,
All right, that's what I'm gonna do then.
it's per judge.
Yes, per judge, because I want them to be able to keep up with him. He's gonna have a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services per judge. He must stay away from MARTA. Mr. Weathers you must understand that you will be immediately sent back to the Fulton County Jail if you go to MARTA again. So it must be very clear. You must understand that you cannot go back to MARTA in all of its entirety. You understand that?
100%, Judge.
All right. Best of luck to you. We don't want to see you back here anymore, all right?
I don't want to see you guys either.
All right.
Love you, Mom.
Does that conclude our calendar?
Yes, I just want to have two quick announcements. I have position 8, Mr. Griffin is going to be a reset.
Is it medical reset?
Yes.
Okay.
That's like a MH reset.
Okay. And position 20, is it the same announcement, medical reset?
Position 20.
Wasn't 20 the one yesterday that got the SOB jail?
Yes, that's also a reset. Position 20.
Well, if they got a signature bond to the jail,
He should be released then. Why is he on this
But
calendar
no,
today?
Law sent one yesterday back here, even though she gave him a signature bond, because I think it was something about the time had expired. No, I think this was Riverside.
Riverside.
Yeah, it was Riverside. So I don't know why she put him back on here anyway, but he got an SOB through the jail. Yeah.
If he has, but it wouldn't the SOB cure the Riverside issue? I still don't understand why he's here today.
Okay, Judge
Position
Hall,
20 is
7 months a day.
reset SAP, March 3rd.
Okay, so reset SAP, not reset to today's calendar. And he's on here today in error?
She reset him to today's calendar and gave him a signature bond. I don't know why, but I'm just telling you she did.
Oh, did he make bonds? Is he still
No,
currently
he
in the
got felony charges. Yeah, he got felony charges.
Okay,
Robbery
well,
by
he
force,
has a
assault.
signature. Okay, he has a signature bond as to these charges, so I believe that cures any outstanding issues as it relates to position 20. Do we want to review the calendar? They say he's reset to SAP.
Okay.
There must have been some other issues such that he was reset to the SAP calendar, is what I'm assuming, as well as today's calendar. I can't speak to what that issue was.
Yes,
but I'm sure
he's going to be reset to the SAP for 3/3/22.
Okay, I'm sure Judge Law was acting in an abundance of caution in resetting him today, and so resetting him to the SAP calendar. All right, do we want to review the calendar? Ms. Grace, will you do so for me?
Okay.
We're completed. Can we be excused, Judge?
Yes, you are. Have a great weekend, great afternoon. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bye-bye. All right, Ms. Grace, will you review the calendar for me?
Yes. Position number 8. Position number 1, reset further notice, $6,000 pretrial bond. Position number 2, $5,000 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 3, $2,500 split bond, reset 3/3/22 SAP. Position number 4, $6,000 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 5, $6,000 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 6, $1,500 good bond, reset 3/3/22 SAP. Position number 7 is a $3,000 good bond, reset 3/3/22. Position number 8 is reset for tomorrow's C calendar. Position number 9 is a $2,500 good bond, reset 3/3/22 SAP. Position number 10 is a $3,030 bond, good bond, reset 3/3/22 SAP. Position number 11 is a $5,000 good bond, reset 3/3/22. Position number 12 is a $4,500 SOB through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 13 is a $3,000 good bond reset 3322 SAP. Position number 14 is a $5,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Position number 15 is a $5,000 pretrial bond reset further notice. Position number 16 is a $4,000 good bond reset 3322 SAP. Position number 17 is a $1,000 good bond reset 3322 SAP. Position number 18 is a $6,000 good bond reset 3322 SAP. Position number 19 is a $3,500 good bond reset 3322 SAP. Position number 20 is reset 3322 SAP calendar with $1,000 SOB through the jail. And position number 21 is a $2,000 pretrial per judge reset further notice.
Is there any comments, changes, questions, or corrections?
For position number 13, was that a $3,500 surety or $3,000 surety?
Position, I'm sorry.
For position 13, Peyton Luden?
I got 3,000.
I have 3,000.
Okay, thank you.
What was it, a 2,500? Because I got 25. I don't know why I said 3.
I have 2,500 on the DUI, that's safe, and 500 on the.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, but that I rely on you. I defer to you, Ms. Grace. I don't always write it down correctly. All right, hearing no further comments, changes, corrections, or questions, we will be in recess until the SEA calendar tomorrow on February the 19th, 2022, where Judge Mincy will be presiding. Everyone have a great rest of the day, great rest of the weekend, and see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.